Do you understand how significant it is that there is a strong probability that a government that is not the U.S. government is pulling strings on our politicians to get their agenda done, and how that affects us economically, that affects us militarily? Does it not dawn on you that there's somebody maybe sitting in their trailer that's like, what the fuck? I'm barely getting by paycheck to paycheck. I'm paying the government all this money in taxes. And then my government's not even representing me.
Yeah.
My government's representing somebody else. Trump is choosing the elite over the people. I think it's going to fuck him up. And a lot of us got pretty motivated because we wanted the bad guys to finally get some accountability. We didn't get any fucking accountability with COVID. We got no fucking accountability with Russiagate. We don't get any fucking accountability with anything those Dennis Snakes do. And he finally said, I'm going to do it. I didn't say it. That motherfucker said it. And now you're saying, well, you don't know what it's like to be him. You said you were going to do it. And then this is injury. This is salt on the wound. Then he says, we have it on our desk. We've seen the files, yada, yada, yada. We got it. And then all of a sudden it's like, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't
like,
exist.
We're fucking retarded. Like, we're like, oh, it doesn't exist now. Okay. It's like disrespectful at this point.
Whispers of a name, but the proof ain't dire. Bottle of whiskey and a match. Who started this fire?
Who started this fire?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So let's get this started with Buck has we have a comment from Adam's page, and it reads.
Yeah, how do you read that name there?
What does that say?
Kellen.
What?
Kellen?
Kellen.
I 100% agree with this.
Of course.
However, I am struggling currently because I am a few months postpartum, taking care of a little one. So I extra, in all caps, do not feel like anything sexual. Also on top of, my partner gives me, also on top of, there's no of there, off my partner gives me nothing physical, such as hand-holding, cuddling, hugs. Absolutely nada.
Adam, that's obviously in response to something that you said, to your real, excuse me. So how would you comment? What would you say to this young lady?
Yeah, so obviously hormones are going to play a lot in your sex drive, but my point in the reel that I was talking about is that I equate sex, and it goes for boys, men, and women, right? Because I got a lot of women showing up in the comments in this particular one saying my guy is the one that doesn't want to have sex, and they're trying to get more sex in the relationship. So I think this goes both ways. I equate sex to going to the gym. You don't go to the gym because you feel like it. You don't go to the gym when you're in the mood. You go to the gym because you're fucking trying to be healthy and stay in shape. That's why you go. So it doesn't matter what your hormone levels are at. There's a lot of days I wake up in the morning, I feel like shit. I don't want to go to the gym, but you drag your ass in there anyways because you know it's good for you. And I'm saying sex is the same thing. If you want to have a healthy relationship, you really got to dial in sex, and it's got to be something that's a non-negotiable. It doesn't have to hinge on a bunch of other little things, or even big things like hormones, because hormones does affect your sexuality, your sexual desire. I got off testosterone to get pregnant a few years ago when we got my son's 2 years old. My hormones dropped. I had no desire for sex. None. Zero. For like 3 months. It was totally gone.
How long does that last with the postpartum?
Well, I don't know how
have
it
those
depends on
things.
it
I've never
can last
experienced
longer.
a woman that's.
I was just going to say this point, though. My wife wanted sex, and I always turned up. Never said no.
Right.
Even though there was zero desire inside of me for it. I was like,
Right.
my girl wants it, she's going to get it.
So let me chime in real quick. So to answer your question, like there's no defined time, right? It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
But so check this out, Adam. I think that I agree with you. You know, you should be ready, right? It should be a non-negotiable. But what this young lady is not just saying it's the hormones, which is hard for women, and I do think it's like as a guy, and we don't have to deal with what they deal with, especially after having a baby, to be like, well, it just is what it is. I get it, but it's like, that's kind of tough. But then he gives her nothing else though, right? So it's not like, okay, she's going through postpartum and he's trying everything and she's saying no. It's not only are my hormones out of whack, he doesn't even want to hold my hand, he doesn't want to touch me. He does nothing to set me off, nothing.
Right.
And that's where I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I
gotta
mean?
do
Like,
better, dude.
No, yeah.
how you feel about
Hand holding.
he gives her nothing.
Hugs. You know
You know what I mean? Especially
It's-
if you're in a marriage and what happens if you know what it takes to just make her happy? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Simple
that's all
hug
she's
can
asking for. If she's like, damn,
reduce
hold my hand.
stress like immediately. Hugs are fucking awesome. So if you can't even do that, like there's maybe something bigger at play here with this dude.
Because what if he's making her feel post the baby that she's not even attractive because he don't want to touch her.
If I take what she's saying at face value, I completely agree with her. Like, a man should be doing something to impress his woman. He should be doing something to try and connect with her. However, these things get really murky really fast because what women say, guys too, isn't always really capturing the whole story, right?
Sure.
So she could have been turning him down for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And he's at a point where he's like, fuck this, dude. I don't even feel connected anymore. I feel emotionally starved. I don't even feel like we have a relationship. He could have been trying to do this for a while, like trying to connect with her, and she's shooting him down. And now she's like, okay, we got to get sex back in our relationship. I'm imposing a lot here because I'm just saying in these types of circumstances, they can get pretty murky. And so, like, maybe he's just shutting off. The other thing, too, is like, for me anyways, sex is what brings out those things for me, right? Like, naturally.
What do you mean by that?
Like the hugging and the cuddling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like if it's not happening for whatever reasons, like when I come home from work, you got your ass kicked, the gas tank is empty, you're trying to come home and you're taking care of kids and you're trying to take care of the yard and all this other stuff. It's like, it can be really, really hard as a man to really start dialing in on that emotional side of stuff. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, you should, but it can be hard to do that. But when my wife is giving me like sex and she's showing me she has a desire in me, that shit happens naturally. Like, I'm going to start turning up for her. I'm going to be rubbing her feet when we're watching a movie. I'm going to be, like, coming home and hugging her. It just kind of naturally. So which one came first, the chicken or the egg? I guess that's kind of my question.
So, but then what happens if, she can be like, well, I've been at home with the kids all day, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so all I'm asking for is when you walk in, give me a hug and a kiss.
And has that conversation been had? Does he even know?
Correct.
Is he just so stressed out and doesn't even know that a simple hug would just fix all this and he could get laid more often?
Right. Where it's like
a lot of guys maybe don't know that.
Just because some people just like, yo, just a little touch here and there. You know how like you'll be like, hey, baby cakes. Maybe that's all that it takes. Mm. You know what I mean?
So,
and that just gets her on
a text message from work. Hey, baby, I love you. I've been thinking about you. No, I totally agree.
Right.
If I'm taking her at face value, she's right.
Yeah.
The man needs to be making sure he's making his woman feel like she's important and that he's connecting with her emotionally. I totally agree with her. I'm just saying, when you get past the one paragraph statement, what's really going on in that relationship, I have no fucking idea.
It's way deeper than just this because he has his side.
Exactly.
He
I would say
definitely
there's
has
more
his side.
going on.
Absolutely.
If he tuned up and had a comment in here, it'd probably sound different than what she's saying.
I think that if we take it at face value, I think he needs to step his game up.
Yep.
But I agree with you. There's definitely way more than just what's going on here on the screen.
Do you guys in your marriages have a lot of conversations where you talk about how you want to be loved with each other, and how often do those kind of conversations come up? Maybe there's like a certain love language they're like missing there, and he thinks he's showing her love by doing these things, but really she doesn't feel loved. Like, how often do you guys in your marriages talk about that? Is that something that you need to be doing and telling your partner how to be loved, or is like universally just a hug and a cuddle enough?
No, I think,
and everybody kind of gets it.
I personally think you kind of have to update your resume consistently, right? Because the consistent part just depends on where you are within your relationship, right? I'm not the same person today as I was 5 years ago or a year ago, whatever, right?
Right.
And so what I need now isn't what I needed before, but I think it's my responsibility to let her know, you know what I mean? And then I'll ask, you know, like, are you happy? Do you need X, Y, and Z? What is it that turns you on? Whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, I'll ask.
Does that fall all on us as being the
leaders
leaders
she'll
of
do
the
too.
relationship?
No, she'll do the same though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, but I think if you're in a relationship, it's still 50-50 in a relationship when it comes to, in some way, like, I think everything, and like we were talking about last week, it's kind of transactional. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I think you have to have an understanding, you know, and I think the understanding comes in with the individual.
Right.
You know.
And talking it out.
It's talking it out. What do you think, Sam?
And
we got to get to the tent.
I think
back there.
I'm just sitting in the shadows. I don't really have much to say. I think when it comes to relationships, just based on my personal experience, the best thing that I can say is when you first start out, forthright communication. Like, you have to set expectations from the beginning, because I didn't do it right the first time, and I think, and nobody does. I think it's just a learning and growing process. But as you learn what you need to do and expectations you need to set, and your partner learns what expectations they need to set with you. If you both are focused and set on growing as individuals and as a family, you can kind of set your visions on the horizon the right way. But if you don't, it's going to be really rocky ride.
Yeah, you end up
Right.
in the murky water.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Put a bow tie on this, Adam.
I think with the conversations, you got to have a healthy aspect of any relationship is going to be really clear communication. So manage the expectations, like you were saying, Fenster. I think one of the dangers of getting really communicative about intimacy is it takes out the desire and it starts becoming a chore. And I think that's what makes it really hard to have those conversations. It's not actually talking about the subject. It's like saying, I need to feel desired. I don't want you to have sex with me to check off a box of responsibility. I want to feel like we're actually really connecting. Because
Right.
what I think a lot of women miss about men is they think a man wants to have sex with them just because he's horny. And although that is sometimes the case, I'll say for me, the vast majority of the time, that I want to have sex with my wife because I want to connect with her. I want to feel like we're good. I want to feel that like fire energy and chemistry between us. When we're having sex regularly, our relationship is on fire. We're really connected. Everything's going really well. But when you start talking about it and being like, I need to get this out of you and you need to get this out of me, it kind of turns it into a chore and it takes out the real connection part of it.
That's kind of why I was asking. Is it like, does it take the the
It
romanticism
can.
out of
I
it?
think that's the danger. I don't think it always
Like,
does.
I want
but
you to
think it's
just come home and pick me up and take me downstairs. And it's like,
Ravish.
okay, I could do that,
Ravish.
but now we both know, and I'm gonna come in
Exactly.
and do that, and it's like, oh,
No, I don't.
doesn't feel as natural. Or
I'm in a spot in my life right now where I'm just getting survival sex. Like we just had a baby. I've got a 4-year-old, and like I'm just like I had my 4-year-old come into our room like 6 times the other night, like with nightmares and stuff like that. And so like it's kind of like, yo, we got 8 minutes, let's ride, like really quick.
You'll be good. You got 7 left.
Oh yeah, bro. You got the minute man over here. This isn't even an issue. He can be done in and out, and she doesn't even know what happened.
dude, and it's really like a mental challenge to be able to get that off that quick. You guys are making it seem like it's a negative.
No. It's a
but
good thing.
if I
That's
put
a
my
gift.
mind to it, I
That's
can
a
get
gift.
it off even probably quicker than that.
That's a fucking gift.
We're not trying to do that, right?
Just
I think
happened.
we've established that, okay, for the
Rim
viewers.
fire.
All right, moving on.
So the next question was, why are some fathers physically present at home but mentally absent with their kids? Damn.
What does that mean exactly? Mentally absent.
Well, it means they're sitting on the couch, drinking a beer, watching TV, not doing shit with their kids.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's how I'm interpreting.
Okay.
So this is a question from the social media right now.
Okay.
But that's tough. This shit doesn't apply to me.
I'll tell you what. Right now,
Yeah.
there's times where I've gotten home from like a long day of shooting and editing and all sorts of stuff, and I'm just drained. I'm tired, and I just don't have the energy to like put forth into playing all sorts of games with G. And there's some days where like I have that energy, but like when I don't, it's really, really hard for me to be like, yeah, let me turn it on.
I'm sure this question's coming up because this has been happening more than just your off day, right? This is something that's consistent. He's home. He's just drinking his little beer.
Sharpening
And
the
not
saw,
really-
getting in fighting shape to get after with the kids. That's not
Exact-
what they're talking about. I think
Yeah.
you were talking about a lot of dads that just don't show up in general. They're not taking that role seriously as fathers. Dude, I will say it, being a father's not for the faint of heart. You're not signing up for it. It's kind of going back to that sex concept. You're not signing up to be a dad when you're in the mood for it. Like, it's like, dude, you got to show up whether you're in the mood or not. Doesn't mean you don't have the moments where you sharpen your saw, but there is something, dude, like, and I don't understand why God made it this way. The older you get, the more your energy drops off, and then these kids show up and they're just so much energy, dude. It's like, it is impossible to match. But when you get your ass off the couch, you do something with your kids, even if you have to just force it, fake it to make it, man, it feels so much better. And I'll give you just an example. Like I same thing with what you were saying, Sam. I got off work and I was just gassed earlier this week. My little girl was so excited because I talked to her about going goblin hunting. I take her up in the mountains. We go hiking in these trails, and I find these little goblins at these truck stop gas stations when I'm driving around. They're like these little figures, and they're holding like these little crystals and stuff. And then she thinks she's going to go find him. And I've created this whole story about how fairies are trying to kill the goblins and we're trying to save the goblins. So she wants to go goblin hunting and then she wants to find these crystals. So, little rocks and shit I'll buy at like gas stations. And then I got them in my fanny pack. She doesn't see them. We're walking around the trail and I'll throw one in the grass. And I'm like, oh, do you hear that? And she's like, no, is her goblin? And then she's looking around the grass and then she finds one. I had to force myself to get off the couch because I was such a trough, of energy, dude. I was just on empty. But I told her we were going to go goblin hunting that night. So I get her on my Harley. We drive out to the trailhead. We go find a couple crystals. We find 3 goblins.
That's cool.
She's on cloud 9. I'm driving home feeling like I'm the baddest ass dad on the planet. I feel so good about myself. My daughter feels great. There's all this connection. But I had to really force myself that particular day, get off the couch.
You can liken it to like the gym. Like, you don't want to go to the gym. You get to the gym. And for me, every time I get to the gym, I gain energy. That's why I like to do it in the morning because it kind of sets my day up.
Yeah.
And same with a lot of other things. Once you can get off that, like the first door, when you're knocking doors, that first door, then all of a sudden you have energy to knock 7 hours.
Start getting in that frame of mind, you
right?
start moving
So
in that
it's
direction.
just about that first step in the right direction of getting your ass off the couch, checking in mentally for just a second, and you'll find that it gets easier. That's kind of my theory on it.
Well, I hear you. I think that you guys have girls, so and obviously you have a boy. You have 2 boys also, but I think the fact that I love the activities that come with having boys, I don't know what it's like having girls yet, but when my oldest son was younger, I wouldn't give a shit what he wanted to do. I was going to go do it with him, right? If I wanted to go work out, my son is coming to work out with me, or if he wanted to go work out, I would go work out with him. It could be 6 in the morning, it could be 5 in the morning, pregame. If he wanted to go shoot, I'm going to go shoot.
Right, yeah.
Right? I'm going to go shoot. And those things sit with him to this day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there is no practice without me practicing with him. Right. When we go play ball, I had him at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, going to play with adults. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you're playing with us.
About to be
and if you go fouling, like if you get on the court with us, you know what it is. Right. You know what I mean? Like, no, don't help him up, don't do all that, just play, And I felt like that's what I just feel like that's my duty, and I'm never too tired. Maybe put it like that. I'm never too tired, and I never have been. But again, everything that he's into, I'm into. So it's not hard to get me to go play basketball. It's not hard to get me to go hit the weights or go outside and do some guy shit.
Well, daughter that wants to play Barbies.
It's also 1, right? I come home, I got 4.
Oh, for sure. No, absolutely. It's different.
It is different. Yeah, there's different. You got 1, it's a little bit of a different thing. I will say this though, before we move on this, because I think, I will say this to all the fathers out there sitting around this fire, because this is where we solve all the problems. There is not a better return on the investment of your time than the time you invest in your family. Like anything else you do outside of that, we lose track of that because we have to show up for work to pay the bills. We got to put a roof over the head. These are things we have to do. You got to go do it. Mm-hmm. You can skip the parenting part because you can go home and sit on the couch and be a deadbeat. You can do that. You're still going to have a house and you're still going to have food on your table. But the investment of time in the family is the greatest return on your time, hands down, my opinion.
I agree.
And so it's worth making it a priority. You got to get home from work. You need to sharpen your saw. Give yourself a certain period of time. I'm going to sit on the couch for 30 minutes. I'm going to veg out. I'm going to let my mind chill. And then I'm going to get back to, investing in the thing that's going to be the most important thing you put your time into in this life.
Right. So, but how do you balance that though? I know we're like, I don't want to belabor this point, but
there's no balance for me right now because they all got shit after school. So it's driving around and going here and going there and taking them to basketball, taking them to play practice, taking them to whatever else. There's no balance right now, dude. It's just chaos. Especially
when everybody has their own things going on. And then how do you stop it from where, do you ever feel like one feels neglected? Because like, you can't be you can't be 4 different places at once. And they all need something.
Mm-hmm. I'm right there. Yeah. That's what I'm dealing with is like if I'm holding my other kid and then G comes up to me and is like, I want to do this, this, and this. And I'm just like, I can't do that right now. And like she always is wanting to do something with me every single time I just take a seat. And I love that she wants to do that with me. And I love that like I'm her person to do that with. But like like real life isn't like I can't just like bend to her every will every single time. So I have to say no at times, and I have to do that. And it crushes her, and she feels a certain way.
Did
But
she get a little jealous?
I don't think she's gotten really jealous of her sister yet. But I know it's coming because when I start spending time with her, when she can play and stuff like that, it'll be different.
The thing with kids, in my experience, and I've got more kids than anybody, I guess, here at the Fire. Doesn't make me an expert, but what I've realized, because it is impossible to satisfy all the kids, even one kid, they have so much energy and they want to just consume your time, and you got stuff to do. I get home, I still got work to do, I still have other things I have to knock out. It's not really about, with the kids, it's not so much about quantity as about quality. For me, what I've noticed with my kids, I don't need to go spend 3 hours. Sometimes I do, because we're at the park or I'm taking them swimming, or, it's a basketball game or whatever. It's really about making sure that every day I'm finding something to connect with them on daily.
Right.
So like sometimes like I don't like, because of how busy things are, the only time I get to connect with one of my kids is at night, where I'll go down in their room when they're going to bed and I tickle their back and I talk to them about how their day went. That's 20 minutes, 15 minutes. But that really means something to them. So I don't think you have to be consumed by it. You have to manage real life, reality with what you can actually accomplish. But
Do you
Maybe get a little creative.
Well, do you feel
make
like
up games where they can get involved while we're playing this game with this kid.
Do you feel like the older kids, not to cut you off, bro, but do you feel like the older kids they understand, and you as a parent have managed expectations, because they know I have to go give some attention to the little ones. Like the little ones need a little bit more right now. You need it differently. You know what I mean? So when you're playing with your older kids, you're hanging out with the older kids.
I was the oldest of 4 boys.
Right.
I kind of understood that.
Like,
and I would get a little upset about it. You can't completely neglect that child, because they're going to
sure.
feel some type of way. But yeah.
or do you include, so did your parents include you in when you have to go play, taking care of the kids? So it's like, maybe it's like, you know what, let's go do it together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I did. I just bring them out to the basketball court.
And let
get
us
dunked
do
on
it,
in the
like-
driveway.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, you can have these conversations where you're trying to rationalize. With my oldest daughter, she oftentimes feels neglected because the younger kids get more attention in a lot of ways. You have these conversations. I'm like, Hazel, when you were their age, you got a ton of attention. It's just kind of the phases of life. You're getting older, you're getting more independent. Doesn't mean I don't care. I'm going to show up to all your stuff. I'm going to be there for you all the time. But
You don't need me as much.
But yeah, you're growing up. You're kind of getting more independent. While these little kids, they need more attention. You were little once. You got all the attention. It's just the phases of life. You try to kind of like walk that through. It kind of works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. But again, I think if you make it a priority every single day to find some way to connect with your kids, it's not so much about quantity, it's about quality. Finding some quality moments to connect with your kids every day, you're going to keep that relationship going really well.
We have a question from a person who wanted to remain anonymous. Do women use hormones as an excuse to negate responsibility?
Let me take a guess. This is a guy asking this question.
I would think so.
Well,
And I would say, that probably happens.
do women use hormones as an excuse to negate responsibility?
Yes.
1,000 fucking percent.
Yes.
I'm going to go out on a huge limb there and say, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. I think we just answered it.
Like that.
Anything to
It
expound
was a
on
yes
that?
or no question answer.
Is
to
it
the
right?
question.
No?
Everybody makes excuses. Like we all make excuses for why we do stuff we don't want to do.
Yeah.
Women have an easy one because they can say it's my hormones and you don't understand. You know,
Yeah.
It's kind of like you don't have an opinion anymore. You can't express anything because you don't know what it's like to have hormones. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Try and get off.
Roid rage. Roid rage is not a thing.
Cycling trend, and then you just get off at cold turkey. Then you talk to me about not having hormones. I've never done trend for the record. For the record, I've literally never done it, but I've heard it's a real thing.
So, what's the next question we got from your comments? What does it say?
Dr. Mia Brett.
Okay.
Is she really a doctor though? Is it like Dr. Dre?
Well, it's on social media, so what anybody.
So
can
is
do.
Dre.
Queen Mab.
You can.
Lay it on us, Buck. What do we got here?
So yeah, there is no evidence to suggest men are lonelier than women, and the entire male loneliness epidemic discourse centers on blaming women for not centering men. Literally, no one is stopping men from organizing groups or solutions. Y'all just want to make women do it.
But there are also so many women like this that show up and it's a dude talking to other dudes about dude issues and they flip it to them. And somehow they're the victim. And somehow we're not recognizing them. And all the attention's got to get to these freaking psychotic. Bleep that out, please.
No, don't beep it out. what's her name?
Whore's
Queen.
not the right
MAB
Now she
87?
commented below it again,
Sucks. Yeah.
talking
Also,
about suicide.
wait, what did it say?
Also, while men have a higher rates of suicide, women have higher rates of attempted.
So
I gotta stop right there.
Worse.
Attempted suicide means you're screaming for attention. So that's making my point. You either
Exactly.
get the shit done, and that's what men do, or you're trying to get attention.
That means
women
you suck at killing yourself.
No, it means they're trying to get attention. I tried to kill my.
You're not good at
Women,
that.
women
Exactly,
earn
that's why they do it.
56% of college degrees, but more careers that don't need degrees are open to men, and women still trail in wages. Oh my gosh, dude, there's so much to just.
If you think
eviscerate
that degree is doing you any good, it's fucking not.
So, what is she, a doctor in like interpretive dance? Like, what is she talking about? Of course, she's not going to make as much money as a brain surgeon, but a brain surgeon's got to work a lot harder than you. You know, the difference in wage gap has been debunked so many freaking times that I'm still surprised they're able to throw that out there with a straight face or a straight comment without an LOL at the end.
That's funny though. That first sentence just backed up
At
exactly
Queen
what you said.
Exactly what I
MAB
said.
87, please call in
Yeah.
next week.
Next, moving on.
All right,
Oh,
I can't even spend
lady
time with
sucks.
that. Stuff. That
Dr.
is such
Mia
a corrosive,
Brett,
like energy that comes out of some of these women. Can't do it, man.
I could just hear her tone too as I was reading that.
Epstein baby.
Oh man,
Epstein baby. Like Epstein baby.
Oh
really?
no! PhD from Stony Brook University. Is that her?
No. That's that's the
She
young
has a
lady from
PhD in history.
Why
So
is she
she's
cross-eyed?
not even a.
Dr. Mia, bro, why are you
doctor that can
cross
speak on that.
Why is she cross-eyed? Or why is the right eye higher than the left?
hey
That's-
man, I'm gonna give her credit for trying. She is putting forth the effort.
No, like
Not enough effort.
no,
trying to
she's
get-
struggling. She's struggling.
I'm not trying to kick
Stop
somebody
it.
down, but
You
I-
just
I
attacked-
will-
you just
I will
attacked
go
her
out.
looks.
I will go out on a
She's
limb.
attacking us as men.
I will
That's
go out
true.
on a limb and I will say this chick is single. And I'm not saying it because of her physical appearance. I'm saying it because that type of energy coming through there is like birth control. It's just going to absolutely kill any sort of attraction from any man that has any value. You're going to listen to that in that grating tone that it's about me and men. Like you're going to just be like, dude, next.
Yeah. And having one eye on your cheekbone and the other in your forehead. Like, yeah, that's not going to help too much either. Right? You have terrible opinions.
You already got a rough go, man. You
You're
better start
already
talking right.
struggling. Like, come on,
is
Doctor.
funny.
Papa Stone gives no fucks.
None.
Go to
Fuck,
Sam.
it's
Doctor-
coming to play
Doctor
today.
Queen Mohab or whatever. it is.
Okay. Don't take his transition opportunity away. Let him fucking go right here.
He'll be
Look,
You know, like my transition.
Those are
we
fight-
transitioning.
Okay, so the story of the day, sitting around this fire.
All right. So
What's on everybody's minds at home?
What's on everybody's mind is your Instagram and your TikTok blew up. Can you actually pull up that video real quick? Or like what like Adam's Reel? Because I want people to be able to go back and
I don't
look
know
at
if
it.
he's logged in.
Do you know what?
Might be hard for him to.
Do you know
I
what
know you
the hook was? What do you remember what it was? What did it say?
The opening line.
The opening line, yeah.
I was just basically talking about if you wanted to know how the world's working and how blackmail Epstein was, and he worked for Mossad, he worked for the CIA, he was selling blackmail to.
He's selling black males.
Black.
That's great.
I mean, it's been done before in the past. It's kind of a common practice for a while. Dude, that key and
M-A-I-L.
and then they'll
Black
and
male.
then they're getting all offended. Dude, that Key and Pill are king, dude. They're so
That
funny.
is nuts. They're selling black males.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. My bad. I didn't want to interrupt. They just
Well, yeah. So
The Epstein, the list is fake. It's fake.
well, it
it's
didn't
not
exist.
real.
It doesn't exist. They don't have it.
Fuck
So-
that, dude.
so
That's exactly how I feel. There's no shot in hell. Somebody's come in. They're protecting somebody. This list gets out. It's bad for a
So
bunch
they-
of people. But I don't think it's Trump, because if he was on that list, the previous 4 years where Biden was the president,
Bingo.
they would have had a perfect reason to bring that up and shut him down. Then they wouldn't have had to deal with this whole 2024
Trump,
election.
you don't believe Trump was on the list.
I don't
so-
think so. Because why wouldn't they
So
have
why did
pulled
it
it out
disappear
before?
then? Why is it all of a sudden gone?
That's what I'm saying. There's some other powers that be
All right,
that are keeping this. I really don't know.
So
There's something fishy though.
here's my 2 cents on this.
Stinks.
Because everybody's saying Trump's on the list. That's why it's not coming out.
Yep.
I have a hard time believing that for a number of reasons. One, he was saying he was going to bring it out, which he could have just been lying. But then even after he got elected, they were going to bring it out. Pam Bondi's saying she's got it on her desk. They're talking about this. I don't think they're having that kind of conversation if he already knows he's just going to shut it down. I don't think he knew that he was going to shut it down. I think what's going on is there's so much crap on so many bad people out there, all these snakes in Washington, all these celebrities, and Trump is doing what Trump does, which is he makes
Making
deals.
deals.
He makes
I knew
deals.
you were gonna say that.
He's got leverage. He wants to get his big, beautiful bill passed. Well, guess who's got the leverage now?
Boom.
You know, he wants to get this done here. He wants to get that done there. Guess who's got the leverage now? Trump makes deals. He's a deal maker. I don't think he's on Epstein's list for the same reason you just said. The Democrats did everything to take that man down.
Yeah.
Everything, including self-destruct. Their party has an all-time low, approval rating because they just absolutely lied about Trump nonstop, 24/7. They've completely eviscerated themselves. You think if they had a silver bullet to shut him down, that they wouldn't have used it? And they're going to be like, well, the Democrats were on it too, so they couldn't expose themselves. Well,
And it's funny how
Prince
quiet
Andrew
they
got
are
exposed. There's others that got exposed. They could have shut Trump down, and if they had to sacrifice a few of their chess pieces, so what? They could have stopped him from taking the presidency by exposing him for being on the list. So I absolutely don't think that he was on the list. I think Trump is doing what Trump does, which is he's using it as leverage to get his agenda done, and that's why it's not getting released.
So, as regular citizens, we're sitting back as
Right,
people
which is
watching.
what we are.
Just exactly.
Just a
We're
regular citizen of America.
there's
You
reticent
dudes
things.
Just a regular
Brother
old
Fire.
American
We're
over
regular
here.
dudes
Just regular.
watching YouTube, watching TV, taking in information. You go to work every day. You go to work. You guys do your thing. So at the end of the day, why do you give a fuck?
I don't. I just
You don't?
like to see somebody go down. Deep down, I just want to see somebody go down for this shit.
Like, why do we spend so much
know what I
energy?
mean?
Why do you spend so much energy debating on who did what, why they did it, and all this other shit when it literally does not affect your life whatsoever?
Until it does, maybe.
When? I
Well,
don't know.
Well, what if one of your kids ends up in this
Oh,
pedophile
what-
ring that's getting passed
well,
around?
Well, I guess not.
No,
That's not.
I
I mean,
no,
it
no,
might
no.
not
No,
happen,
that's
but
not-
there's
there's no
people's
might.
kids
No,
that's
no.
happening
No,
to.
I'll
So
give
it
you.
clearly
I'll
happens to
give you
somebody.
something. I'll give you something that's more realistic. Your kids get sent off to fight some fucking war that we have no business fighting because the people in politics are compromised. Now, Andrew Tate said some fucking dumbass shit. He said the only people that want to see the Epstein list released are brokies that want to see drama. And then you had Adam on the PBD podcast. I love the PBD podcast. I generally like Adam saying some wild ass stupid shit that it was just uneducated idiot people that are sitting around in their trailers that are just looking for drama. That I guess that kind of fits what you were saying. You're
Kind of
just looking
fits
for
what
that
I'm
drama.
saying, yeah.
So maybe he was talking about you.
Because I have no kids in the game.
So you kind of just fit what he was saying. But I was listening to that this morning, and I was like, you are a fucking retard, dude. Do you understand how significant it is that there is a strong probability that a government that is not the U.S. government is pulling strings on our politicians to get their agenda done? And how that affects us economically, that affects us militarily? Does it not dawn on you that there's somebody maybe sitting in their trailer that's like, what the fuck? I'm barely getting by paycheck to paycheck. I'm paying the government all this money in taxes. And then my government's not even representing me.
Yeah.
My government's representing somebody else. And if I got caught with child porn, I'd be in prison.
Right.
If I got caught in a kid, I should be locked up forever. But what's good for me isn't good for them.
When that's
You don't
generally
think
why I have those feelings, by the way. Like, it all kind of ties in. It's hard to come up
but
with
that's
like a...
you were just saying drama to be fun. This is how I think most people feel. That's why I think this dude Adam from the PBD podcast and Andrew Tate are fucking idiots. Dude, if your politicians don't feel accountability to us and we are paying them fucking money, that should piss everybody off.
Right.
Everybody should be really mad about this.
Yes.
And the tendrils of this, how far they reach and how much they actually affect us, I think they go way beyond anything that we realize. And I'm taking out just the obvious one, which is taxes. We're paying an exorbitant amount of taxes to a whole bunch of bullshit that has nothing to do with making America better or helping the American people.
Okay, but people just sit
Fighting the
around.
wars, people
but
losing their
people just
family
sit around
members.
and like people sit around, watch TV, bitch and complain. But what are you going to do? Like my thing is like, okay, all of these things may be true, right? But what are you going to do?
I'll tell you what we're going to do.
I'm going to crusade.
No, I'm going to tell you what. I'll tell you what to do. Trump right now is playing the Trump game. Like I said earlier, in my opinion, he's pulling leverage. He's pulling strings. He's making deals with the elites.
Right.
Trump is choosing the elite over the people. I think it's going to fuck him up. And I think when you get enough people pissed off about it and they get loud enough about it, guess what? Politicians start to actually listen. And if they think there's really going to be some pushback from the mob, a lot of times it does change their position. It does change their policy. So I don't think this is something you just shrug off and just be like, well, there's nothing we can do about it.
Why
I
are
think
we still talking about this Epstein
exactly,
list?
dude.
What are we doing talking about this?
I'm a Trump guy. I love Trump. And people be like, you know, in my comments on that post that I put up about the Epstein files not being released. See, you guys trusted Trump, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, first of all, let's be clear, bitch. It was a binary option. It was Trump or it was Kamala. Trump clearly is the better guy for the job. All right. And if it was Kamala, do you think she'd be releasing the Epstein list? That girl would be increasing it, man. They'd be flying out more kids to more islands on her watch.
What if she identified as a man?
She kind of looks like one. Can I say that?
No, I think that's Michelle.
I think you're allowed to
That's
say that.
Michelle.
Well,
Sorry.
Michelle is one, right?
This is-
Mike, Big Mike.
Don't be rude.
Free country here. You can say
You just
that.
talked about some girl's eye hanging off her cheek.
Yeah, you
I'm
shut
only
the
stating
fuck up.
facts. I'm literally stating facts. There's nothing rude about if I see it.
Yeah,
and I
I'm
just
stating
wanna-
facts that Michelle
Let me
Obama
tell-
has
let
a
me state
dick, dude.
facts.
She's got a
Michelle
big
Obama has
old
bigger
penis.
back than you do, bro.
No,
She just
shot.
works out
Stone
harder.
is jacked.
She works out hard.
So was Michelle Obama.
I mean, the fuck, better
Nobody's
genetics.
bigger than Stone.
That's better genetics. Fuck. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying that's a pretty big back.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Can we click on that one more time? Look at
that.
that, dude. I'm kind of a little jealous right now.
I
to be
didn't
honest.
realize. I did not
In fact,
realize.
You guys are hating on her because she.
Go ahead and pull up the print pictures.
The what?
Oh yeah, the print picture.
Yeah, she's printing.
Yeah, but is that real, dude?
No, 100%.
Or is that just?
I saw a video of it flopping, dude.
I know I saw that too, but I didn't know if that was real or not. You can't trust what you see anymore.
Oh, yeah, but
the hard-
AI
All of a
was
sudden-
not where it
all of a
was
sudden-
now then.
How old is she? 50 something,
Here-
60?
but, dude-
and all of a sudden she's a dude.
No, but bro,
Stop.
here's part of the problem is Obama keeps referring to her as Mike. You don't call your wife Michelle Mike,
How do you may not? How do you like? How are you gonna say what somebody else calls them? Like, how do you know,
bro.
bro? What, bro? What?
Bro.
Just make it, bro. What? Like,
Tell me one example where somebody had a
I
girl
don't.
named
I don't
Michelle they
know.
called
I don't
Mike.
know pet names that dudes.
Comment
give their
on the
wives.
show if you know
I know
somebody-
baby cakes.
that you know in a relationship.
Yes, I
and
know
her name's
baby cakes.
If you were
Michelle.
calling her
and
baby
the,
cakes, that would make sense.
The partner
Baby
calls him Mike.
cakes, but other than
Comment that.
bro, I don't know why dude calls his
It
wife.
would be
whatever he
like,
calls.
dude, Stone, it'd be like me calling you Stacy on accident. Like a fuck up. Like I'm talking about like, yeah, me and Stacy are gonna go down to, but I'm talking about my boy
What
Stone.
the fuck?
Nobody
Come on, man,
spells Mike M-I-C.
No, nobody. It's not. It doesn't have to be the proper spelling. I just think that's just real cornball.
He's on this.
That's
He's on
real-
the same. He's on the same level as
she's a
Macaron right
dude.
now,
She
dog.
would have known that she was a dude
Bro,
30 years ago.
but what about Candace Owens exposing the French president? His wife is a dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
the fuck
she's
does that have to do with Michelle?
You're making the point that how would she's 60 and why hasn't it come out before? I'm saying it never came out on her and that she's like 80.
It has nothing to
until-
do with Michelle.
Until
it
Candace
ain't-
Owens showed up and
that ain't got
started
nothing to
exposing
do with Michelle. There's a whole bunch of shit that goes on with.
it. I'm
this
only
person.
challenging your point that you're saying why would it come out now? Well, it's coming out. Here's an
But
example.
where was
come
that? Where
out.
did that happen?
What do you mean where did it
You
happen?
said who is a French person?
Macron's wife, the French president.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the
getting
United States
air-
president. We're
air-
not talking about. The
I'm
French.
just
I
giving
know.
an
Well,
example.
he's just showing
of
that it
my
could
point
be
is
all the way
saying-
up to a presidential
Our
level.
information.
This
we got
right here.
information's better.
This is a dude. Candace Owens has done I think a really stellar job on the research on this. She's like 20 years older than him. She was also like a pedophile. She was doing shit to him when he was younger, and they are married, and that's a dude.
bro.
And that's just recently come
Let's
out.
get a picture of her back. Let's see if that's bigger. Maybe my back.
That,
Man, she's got a bigger
so
back.
I'll
than
ask.
she's gonna
I'll ask
No
this
pictures
question.
of the back. Okay.
I'll ask this question again. Who gives a fuck? If she's a
Point.
dude, who
I
gives a
don't.
fuck?
Well,
don't.
I'll tell you why I care. I'll tell you why I care. If you're lying,
She's not a dude. I don't-
if you're lying, okay, who knows? But let's just, you said, why do you give a fuck?
It's the lies that.
If it's a dude up there pretending to be a chick, that is some real deep fucking lies, dude, for a long time. And you're going to put that type of person in power? A person that's been lying about who they are their entire
Michelle.
life?
What else will they lie
Talk
about?
about
Are you talking about the
right?
Oh,
That's-
I'm just saying
maybe
the point.
maybe the
Like,
Epstein
what-
files
dude.
they would lie about. Maybe.
Oh, we're revisiting last week.
they're willing to lie about
La-
who they are.
last
They
week,
lie about
Puffy?
anything. They don't need to be in power.
what? You talking about Puffy?
Puffy. Are we going back to Puffy?
Well, you said revisiting last week.
I thought that's where Spencer was coming from the tent with.
No, I was saying maybe they would lie about the Epstein files. Maybe they would
really
lie about
don't have
that.
Files. Never mind. They told us over and over again they did, and they were sitting on Pam Bondi's desk. They don't have the files.
I'm a hot
Trump
potato
used
right
it
now.
to help
I am a hot
His
potato.
presidency, saying that we are going to release this and maybe get a couple extra voters
I
that
think
really
that's
want to
what-
see that
I
shit.
think that's what Trump does. Is he pulls
He's a
leverage,
deal
man.
maker, dude.
He's a deal maker. He needs to get something done. Okay, guess what? I won't release this, but you better pass my big beautiful bill. You better do X, Y, and Z.
I get the
That's
deal.
what that's what I think.
No,
That kind of makes sense. That's the only thing I've heard that really actually makes a ton of sense.
I get
That's
it.
the only thing that makes sense to me right now because I don't think Trump's on the list. And that's not me trying to race to his defense. Again, I just think the Biden administration would have shot him down.
100%.
They tried to kill him. I mean, let alone like they're going to hold that back.
That's
that
how I
card
know
they
for
can
a
play.
fact
You're like,
he's not
dude,
on that.
I'm going to push back here. I absolutely think that a lot of those guys in that administration were on that list, and that's absolutely why they didn't announce it. Now we have Elon saying, hey, listen, I've seen it, and Trump is on it, and now we're never going to see it. And then look, 3 weeks later, here we are. Trump goes, what list? What are you talking about? Gaslighting the fuck out of us.
But that doesn't rationally make sense. It doesn't make sense.
I
to
think
go-
it does.
Well, let me finish my point. Thank you very much. It doesn't make sense to run your campaign on releasing it. I understand you make campaign promises to get elected, and then you don't get elected, and then you don't keep them. That happens with every presidency.
Everyone.
But after you got elected, you're still saying you're going to release them over and over again. You repeat that, and you say you have them, but you know you're not because you're on the list. That doesn't make sense. You
Or
would
it was a
Well,
bigger
they could
play.
just
He was
redact
lying
it.
'cause he knew he
doesn't
was
make
on it. They're all on it.
It doesn't make sense to go from, I know I'm on the list and I'm going to continue to push the narrative that we're going to release them after I got elected. We're going to continue to release them and then suddenly pull back and say we don't have them.
Right.
To me, what makes a lot more sense is actually I can use this information way better if I have it than if I just release it and create utter chaos. I can actually get everything done I want to get done.
So one nation under blackmail.
Exactly. Bingo. And I think Trump's playing the game. That's what I think, and I don't like it.
Hey,
I'm not supporting it. This isn't an endorsement. I fucking love Trump. I think he's done a phenomenal job up to this point. I think this is a huge fucking blunder, and I have lost a lot of respect and trust in the guy.
Ben, can you tell him why we think that's some bullshit?
Are you guys synced up now? Is this like, come on, Buck, you got my back?
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, I kind of already was making my point earlier. I think there's, I truthfully don't know.
Just rebuttal what I said, though. Challenge what I said.
Yeah. What I think is Elon came out saying, "Listen, I saw it, and Trump was on it, and that's why we're never going to see it." And then 3 weeks later, all of a sudden, President Trump, it'd be gaslighting us, saying it doesn't exist. Why are we still on this creep? Why are we talking about this guy? Why are we giving him the time of day? Completely like shoving it to
If I knew I
the
was on that
side.
list, though, I would be trying not to bring it up ever.
That's
No,
what
that's
I'm
because
saying.
they were
Bingo.
questioning him about it though. He didn't bring it up. He goes,
Oh,
"Why are
his
we still talking about it?"
administration did,
He
though,
was
man.
bringing it up.
And his
It was a whole
administration
part of his
was
campaign.
touting it about long after he got elected. Here's the thing about Elon Musk. He also said he was like the #1 gamer in the world, and he fucking
Elon
lied.
lies too.
Well, they all lie. I mean,
All
That's
of
what
us,
I'm saying.
no
So I
one
take
likes
every-
Elon.
No. I like Elon.
Now you
I
don't
like
wanna test
Elon
him.
Musk. I'm just saying everybody's lying. Elon Musk is a liar. He's been caught lying. Trump's lying right now. He's
About
getting
a
caught
weird
lying.
lie too, saying that he's
Yeah,
the best gamer in Diablo and never even.
Well,
played
and
the
then
game.
that whole thing where he's a proponent for free speech, and then he's shutting down accounts on X. You know what I'm saying?
I think the whole thing is it goes back to Israel and their fingers in our
Bingo.
in our country, and it goes back to, I mean, I'm just going to use this example. Vice President J.D. Vance, love the guy. Well, he's sitting there on an interview. Why didn't you kiss the papal ring? You're a Catholic. Well, it's policy in the United States that a United States sitting vice president doesn't kiss another ring or kneel to anybody else. But in the same breath, he went to Israel like in his first or second week and put the hat on and touched and kissed the wall. I mean, that is absolutely asinine to me.
Bro, you're cooking right now. Now you're cooking. You're
So,
saying stuff that
but-
makes sense.
So what if you're the president? What are you supposed to do? Right. So people have like all of these things to say, but what now? Now, if you're in his position, what do you do?
Tell the fucking truth.
Like, do you think
be-
it's that
be-
easy though?
be
Do you think it's that
forthright.
easy just to tell the truth
No,
though?
I don't.
No, I
How-
don't think
how-
it's easy, but I
Right?
think it would
What do you think
help
are
a
the
lot of people.
repercussions if the truth
Exactly.
comes
Like,
out?
like we-
Does it
like
shut
we sit
down
here-
the
we
whole
sit here on the-
economy? Is it that bad?
Right, like we sit here from this side
What could it
of the
be?
fence, and you're being like, these people are being pulled in all sorts of directions because they're very, very powerful people. So, and then it's like, oh, he should do this, he should do that. How can you say what somebody should do when you're not in that position?
Here's what enrages
True.
me. I'll tell you
And
exactly what.
clearly
you can,
not educated
I can
enough,
no
most
no
of
no
these
no
people.
no. Hold on. I can tell you why you can tell people what they should do because he fucking run his campaign on that, and he promised that he was going to do that. He said he was going to do that. So you can't now say, well, you don't know what it's like to be in my position and what I have to deal with. You fucking said you were going to do it. And a lot of us got pretty motivated because we wanted the bad guys to finally get some accountability. We didn't get any fucking accountability with COVID. We got no fucking accountability with Russiagate. We don't get any fucking accountability with anything those dentist snakes do. And he finally said, I'm going to do it. I didn't say it. That motherfucker said it. And now you're saying, well, you don't know what it's like to be him. You said you were going to do it. And then this is injury, this is salt on the wound. Then he says, we have it on our desk, we've seen the files, yada, 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 we got it. And then all of a sudden it's like, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't
like
exist.
We're fucking retarded. Like we're like, oh, it doesn't exist now. Okay. It's like disrespectful at this point. It's like you're just treating us like we're fucking livestock.
You think we're that
Like we're dumb
stupid?
idiots, and you're like, well, we don't know what it's like to be in this position, bro. I get that. He's dealing with shit we don't understand. I get it, but don't say you're gonna do something. Run on it. Tell us you have it, and then flip the script and make us gaslight us like we're all idiots. You're still talking about Epstein.
That's a human.
You're the one that
experience.
fucking
Anyone
told us it
can
was
relate
gonna
to
happen.
that.
We voted for you, a lot of us, because we thought you were gonna do this shit.
Can I make my last point on this?
Cookie.
I don't think we're gonna get any closure on this until we have a sitting president that's gonna stand against Israel.
Unless the mob gets big enough, man. If there's enough pushback where this is going to really start threatening the outcome of midterms, and this threatens the outcome, which it won't, this will get brushed under the rug, and 3 weeks from now we won't be talking about it. But unless there's some real pushback where people do speak up and people are mad on social media and this doesn't go away and it starts eroding away support for the party and starts eroding away the stuff that they're trying to get done, we might see something. Maybe. That's the only shot we have.
And
Crusades.
I bet you could express your opinions on X, and Elon will let those go through.
Oh, he would
So
because he
make
lets
sure you get
everything
on
go
X
through.
and
Promote
talk
it, 'cause
that
we need to
shit,
get followers
America.
on X, dude. So
talk
this
your
might-
shit.
Elon Musk, if you really care about free speech and if you really think Trump was on the list, you promote this.
Fucking let them know. Let them know, because we're the last stand. We're the Americans.
This
we're
is
the
the fire,
fucking
bro.
people.
Crusades.
Represent all the little guys, all those idiots in their freaking trailer parks that are all pissed off, that are just idiots, that have nothing going on in their lives. Thank you, Adam.
We're
for being
with
a fucking
you.
moron. Yeah, we're with you, dude.
So, Adam, why don't you close us out with accountability then? Because that's what I'm hearing, right? I'm hearing that a lot of these guys who are in power, they need to be held accountable. And I think they need to hold themselves accountable.
Yep.
Right? Doing what you say you're going to do. Doing what you say you're going to do.
Which
And then the people
Trump
around
has
him.
generally done. I will give him the score has dropped, but I would say for his first presidency as well as for his second presidency, the first 100 days, or however far along we are into this presidency, the guy has really come through on almost everything that he said he was going to do, that he campaigned on. This is a huge gaffe. This is a huge problem for me because he's just absolutely lying to us, and then he's trying to gaslight us and make us feel stupid. Here's the issue. The founding fathers understood this. The only way that you can have any real sense of freedom or democracy is if the power apparatus is held accountable. And that's why they broke it up into 3 divisions of government, and that's why they created all of this system so that there can be accountability. Because if you have power and no accountability, you have no freedom. And it is always the same struggle. We get divided. We start arguing about this and that and, racial issues and sexual identity issues and whatever else. We start arguing about all this. They throw these bombs in there. They keep us divided. They keep us confused. And then they just do whatever the fuck they're going to do. It has always been us against them against us. That's how it's always been since the beginning of time.
Right.
Those in power against those who are they're in power over. It's always that way. And if there's not any accountability, we don't have any democracy. And COVID was a perfect example of that. No accountability. They shut down the entire fucking world, and nobody's paid the price for that, even though we all know it was a lie. We all know it was bullshit. Everybody can see the ramifications of it. There's zero accountability. If there's no accountability, there's no change. If you have no accountability, you don't have a healthy society.
Yeah.
And it starts where? Like, don't you believe it starts with us, the little man.
Yeah.
Well,
I've always kind of pictured
Start in
this
the
like
home.
politicians typically kind of like a lot of attention. And I think you could become the most popular politician and get the most attention by just telling the truth all the way through. I just think a lot of people will never get to that point because they'll die. Someone will kill them or something will happen to where they can't get in.
they can just shut
because the
you down,
power
too.
is too strong. They can hold those people out. They know the people that are going to stay true.
Or
They
it
only let
lines
people
their
in that they can
pockets.
manipulate, or they got
what?
something over, or they got some kind of blackmail on them.
Or it just lines their pockets and then they switch.
That's what I'm saying. But man, if you really wanted, if you were just all about the truth and you just released it all the way to the end, you'd be the most famous president that the U.S. has ever had. More famous than Trump.
I think
more well known.
I think what's going on with Trump. I already said this, but I really think he's trying to use this to move his agenda. And I think his agenda is to make America the best it can be. I really believe that about him. You can tell that's what he cares about, is like really winning for America. Like that's his thing. So I just think he sees this as a way to do that. And he is sacrificing the trust of the people in favor of, my opinion, in favor of leverage over the elites. And I think it's going to cost him.
Whispers of a name, but the proof ain't dire. Bottle of whiskey and a match. Who started this fire?